Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there and names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
So what's going to happen with interest rates cuts? Now, this is literally a few hours before they cut interest rates. So this is going to come out just a little bit afterwards, maybe a day or two after. What is going to happen now that interest rates have been cut? I'm expecting it to be a quarter point. And with that being said, you know, inflation has been tickering down, which is shocking a little bit because, one, kids are in school. Yes, they needed more resources and things dedicated to that. But you would think that towards the end of the year, you're getting ready for holiday events like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You know, all the fun has ceased. All the traveling has stopped. Airline tickets are less than normal. Gas prices are going down. They're expecting it to be under $3 for the entire nation, right? And so right now I'm actually able to get gas at $2.85 in certain areas. Now I know this is what you all want to know, what is going to happen with housing? So I do expect that with interest rates dropping, there are going to be more houses on the market. But the issue with that is that it is dropping at the end of the year. What happens at the end of the year? There is little to no movement during the end of the year. This is not when people are buying houses normally. So it's actually the best time for interest rates to drop because this is the time when the least amount of people are going to go into real estate, if that makes sense. The only people who really do benefit from this right now is going to be investors like myself. The reason for that is your kid just started school. There's a lot going on there. Are you also going to decide to buy a new home when your child just started school a month in the same month? Literally, your child just went to school last week. Are you going to start to finance a new home tomorrow? No. You just finished all your vacations. You just said, you know what, we're going to stay in this home because it doesn't look like there's any opportunity out there in the markets. And then they finally said, okay, it's time to start cutting. Things are tight. You know, there's not a lot of disposable income. And then you got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving, and you got Halloween coming up. So, yeah, there's not a lot of movement during this time. And because of that, there are going to be a lot of homes sitting. I do believe volume is going to start to pick up within the market. This is going to allow for better homes to hit the market. But the problem is the best homes will not hit the market. And the reason for that is because other good homes are not going to be on the market. In order for that to happen, you're going to need people to not be able to afford where they live. So that when they see 2 or 3 beautiful, marvelous homes, they'll now say, okay, I could put my home that is also beautiful and marvelous on the market in order to achieve this other home that I deem to be beautiful and marvelous. And so, to be honest, guys, I've only seen a handful. I can count on my 10 fingers how many marvelous homes I've actually seen, right? Because those don't hit the market often. And oftentimes, the only ones on the market are new construction or on the market because someone is literally deceased and can no longer live there. So it is very hard for these type of homes to hit the market. And if you do see a spectacular home, I've seen a few. There's always something wrong. It's bad neighborhood. next to a highway. Um, you know, no no parking unless you want to park on the street. So, there's always something with these renovated homes because a lot of the time they're going to be next to homes that are not renovated. And so you're going to have the best home in the block looking at not so nice aesthetics and people without the money to, fund their properties correctly. And so, yeah, it's all those renovated homes. Once you actually surveyed the area, at least in my city, it has turned out that what surrounds it isn't really masterful, isn't really a beauty. Um, so that's what I had to say on that. I do expect volumes to rise. I do expect investors to be more advantageous. There are not going to be investors willing to wait. There are a lot of mortgage lenders that want you to lock in a specific rate. As for me, I'm personally not interested in locking in a rate when I know that rates are set to continuously go down. And so what that means is that I can't have FOMO. Now, this is from an investor's perspective, and this is what you all have been waiting for, so thank you for sticking around. But from an investor perspective, I can't have FOMO because I want a specific property. FOMO means fear of missing out. I can't go out of my way and say, you know what, because this house is spectacular and beautiful. Mind you, I do see a home that I actually am interested in. But I know that because the interest rate dropped, it is very, very likely that it is going to be taken off the market like this. Okay? I cannot have a fear of missing out for this property. It is absolutely okay that I miss out on this property, and I know that I will miss out on this property because I know that interest rates are going to drop tomorrow, September 18th, and then I also know that they're probably going to drop again November 18th. And then it's my hope that they drop again December 18th. By the time we get into December, now I'm looking at it like, okay, now it's my time. I'm not going to wait for interest rates to continuously drop. But what I will say is that if it doesn't drop in December, then I'll wait till January to see what happens. If it does drop in January, then that is also my time to buy the beginning of January. I'm looking for at least 3 rate cuts before I enter the market. That'll put me well at the low 5s or the high 4s in terms of my interest rate. Now, for all of you who don't know, a 4.5% interest rate means that if you are paying on a 30-year mortgage, you will have effectively paid double what the house is worth. Now, if you're an investor, that doesn't necessarily matter to you because you are not the one paying the mortgage. Therefore, over the first year, your rent is covering the mortgage, and all the way to year 30, your rent is covering the mortgage. So when you look at that interest rate, what you really are looking at is how effective is the rents going to be versus the mortgage payment. And the lower that interest rate gets, the better that mortgage payment will start to look. Now, the fear that people are having is because interest rates are dropping, they believe prices are going to go up. That is not necessarily true. Prices have continued to rise by 4% easily. And right now that we're in a deflationary period where people are having to cut back, job loss is imminent, and we are already at about 4% in unemployment right now. And there are more numbers than that. We're going to have people who are really, really tight on their budget. And I do expect it to go down even more in December because obviously it's winter, snow season, all that stuff. January might have the same case as well. And so, I do expect people to not be able to go out there and buy properties. And therefore, real estate will be getting slashed, actually. I do expect real estate prices to get slashed, and not by much. I have seen a couple of homes drop $20,000 here, $15,000 here. But at the end of the day, there are certain parameters and guidelines that real estate follows within your city and within your area that we know that it's not going to go for too much less than what they paid for it, right? So if someone bought a house for, I don't know, $400,000 and they're trying to sell it for $600,000, by the time they get to 575, they're probably done cutting the price. You know, they're probably done cutting the price. They took 25,000 off. They'd rather take it off the market and wait for a better time. Or I've seen people keep their house on the market for a year and a half until someone bought it at the exact price. And so, hey, you know, eventually someone thought that it was worth that price and they bought it for that price. And so, you know, sometimes people get exactly what they want and they just have to wait on it. If there's no rush to sell, then you can take your time and keep your price your price. So at the end of the day, it's still a seller's market. Prices are still going up on properties nationwide, 4%, much better than the 10 and 20% that we were seeing. But at the end of the day, it's still a seller's market. People are still making profits. I thought that people were going to start hurting as soon as those taxes came due, because those property taxes got real significant, a lot bigger, a lot higher. But people have weathered that storm. People have been able to bounce back effectively. And it seems as though, you know, they're chugging along just fine. So they had spare resources. They had spare cash because interest rates were very, very low. People were able to refinance. And so when those tax burdens finally hit, as I talked about earlier, they were ready for that. I was ready for that. And so, you know, we were blessed to save a couple $1,000s here and there, not paying on those taxes. But now that those property taxes are coming due with a lot more bang to it, you know, we have to roll with the punches and pay that. My property taxes have increased by at least $35,000 to $4,000 a year. So that's effectively at least another $300, $350 a month. And so, you know, I was prepared for that. Although it wasn't expected, that's what happens when property prices rise. And so, you know, there's another thing that comes with high prices is property taxes. So just be aware of that as well. Now, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in understanding how I reach financial freedom, feel free to check out my video on how I reached financial freedom by the age of 25 years old. And if you are also interested in seeing how I got to my first $250,000, watch my video, Road to $250,000. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.